Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a video on a pretty controversial subject, or war rather, about, what's better. And it's a question I get a lot, actually. Just the other day I actually got a question about the same thing, what's better, the Xbox 360 or the PS3? And you really can't explain that in a message, obviously. But I thought today I'd make a video just for everybody to sort of ease up the war on it. I mean, I had an unboxing of a Xbox 360 and an unboxing of a PS3, and they both, sort of had fanboys on it. And I thought I'd just share my views on both consoles and what I personally think is better. Again, this is just an opinion, and I'm not biased because I do own both. You can look at the videos on both of them if you want. That if you go to my channel, you'll be able to see them. So, to start, the good points on the PS3 would be, well, first and foremost, what people would, mainly buy it for, Blu-ray support. That's a really strong point of the PS3 right now. And the reason it's a strong point is because, the Xbox doesn't offer that, but to me that's not, it's not that important because I do have a standalone Blu-ray player. So, yeah, the PS3, the second good point on the PS3 is that it does have a great graphical user interface, and especially with the new update, it really does look great. It also has a new price point, and obviously, they've just released the PS3 Slim. I'm not too much of a fan of that. Anyway, so getting back on to the topics, I've put down a bunch of notes here, so I don't put any invalid points in here. So along with the new price point and the Slim, which is the new price point basically, the PS3 Slim, it has a great design. I like the Fat a lot more than the Slim. The Slim, I don't so much like the design, but the Fat is a really nice design. I mean, I actually like that a lot better than the Xbox 360. And it also has a good selection of colors. So if you get a Japanese or Hong Kong, or just an Asian in general PS3, you get better color selection. The PS3 does have some exclusives over the Xbox 360, such as Uncharted, which I'm actually playing now. It's Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, which is the sequel to Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which are both excellent games if you want to check them out. It also has Pain, which you can get off the PlayStation Store. Now, another strong point, as I was talking about before, is that it can be doubled as a Blu-ray player. However, my standalone Blu-ray player beats it. It looks a whole lot better than the PS3, and sounds better actually. But yeah, the PS3's other strong point is that it has built-in wireless, which with the Xbox 360 you have to buy the adapter, and that kind of sucks. But it comes with wired internet, which is obviously built into it, so that's free. So, getting on to the bad points of the PS3 would be, in my opinion, I think the one of the bad points is it comes now in a new slim design, which to me, I don't like the slim design, but that's up to you. They also cut Linux support, which is big. I mean, I've got a lot of time on this because this is obviously a picture, so I'm gonna go into talking about why it's bad they cut Linux support. Essentially, by cutting Linux support, even if you don't use it for anything, what Linux allowed you to do was you could boot into Linux, you could back up your Blu-ray movies, back up your Blu-ray games, you could possibly in the future, I mean, there were hackers working on trying to get emulation working, for PS2 games, via Linux, because PCSX2 is native in Linux. So if they manage to unlock the power of the PS3's graphics card and all of its cores, etc., that could be feasible. to actually emulate PS2 or emulate the PS2 via PCSX2. So that's huge. They cut Linux. I think they may have actually cut it because of that alone, or maybe it was to save costs. I don't really know, but Linux was pretty big for people that knew what its potential was in the PS3. So another bad thing on the PS3 is that it doesn't have as many exclusives as the Xbox 360, as we all know. Now, I'm going to say high failure rate on the PS3 because I have had three PS2s and a PS3 that has died on me. I mean, PlayStations in general, for me, don't have the best track record. You know, 3 PS2s and 1 PS3, which, you know, I'm going to mention that one PS3 was only played 10 times. You know, which had died within a month. And also, on my existing PS3 now, my optical audio out is actually now broken. Anyway, so another bad point on it is that the ported Xbox 360 games run in 720p rather than 1080p. Although, some original PS3 games do run in 720p, such as Uncharted, you know, Drake's Fortune, and Among Thieves. Now, I think they run them in 720p because, you know, if they were to run it in 1080p, even though it is native to the PS3, if they were to run it in 1080p, it would run into some serious overheating issues because that's a graphically intensive game. And I actually did run into a heating issue running Uncharted 2 just yesterday, so yeah. That's it's not that great, you know, it doesn't run 1080p, but yeah, it runs in 720p, which kind of sucks. And also the cooling, like I was talking about before with the games, is, you know, not so great. It if you don't have it in a well ventilated area, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to die pretty soon. Another feature of the PS3, I guess it's good and bad. It has, you know, free online, which is great. You know, the Xbox, you got to pay for it. But, you know, I think paying for it is a lot better. With the PS3, this is another bad point. Its online does tend to lag quite a bit. You know, because there are mass amounts of people online, obviously, at the same time. Which, you know, it does lag, and it doesn't have as many good servers as the Xbox Live service does. So another bad point is that in the PS3 box, it only comes with composite. You know, aka the yellow, red, and white cables, which came with the PS2, which is not to be mistaken with component, you know, that are just for video. Components basically just for video. It's red, green, and blue, and yeah, kind of sucks. It only comes with composite. Anyway, another bad point is some games actually force you to use space on your hard drive, and if you got, let's say, a 40 gig drive, installing a 4 gig, 7 gig game is going to take up a huge chunk of that, and if you got plenty of games, well, chances are you have to upgrade your hard drive, obviously. On the Xbox, you know, another great thing is that, you know, you aren't forced into installing it onto your hard drive. So another bad point about the PS3 is downloads off the store, you know, such as games and whatnot, are pretty slow. I mean, they can take a few hours. My average download is 2.3 MB a second, so I haven't got slow internet, and you know, it's bearable. I mean, you know, a couple of hours for a full game is not that bad, but still, the Xbox is a bit faster on their stores. So another bad point is it's only got 2 USB ports, and something else that's pretty big is another bad point is that the controller's not really made for older people. It's kind of kiddish because it matches a kid's hand pretty well, not so much an adult's. Whereas the Xbox 360s has sort of a nice groove into it, you know, like an adult can use it comfortably, and yeah. And the PS3 has a bad chat pad. I mean, you know, all this stuff you can look at online if you want to look at pictures of it or whatever. But the PS3's chat pad is not that great because it's actually above the control instead of below it, so it's you got to sort of slide your hands upwards, and then somebody can kill you online. So that's not that great. So moving on to the Xbox 360, the good points of it are it has a good design. I like it personally. For me personally, I haven't had a high failure rate, so I would say it's a low failure rate. I mean, results speak for themselves. You know, I've only had one Xbox and one Xbox 360 die, so you know, one of each. Which is it was alright. I mean, you know, the Xbox 360 that died, that I had, actually it didn't fully die because you know you could turn it on, load a game, but it would freeze, which could have been a cache issue. Anyway, it has great games on it. Its graphical user interface is not as good as the PS3's, I would say. Although with their new update, it does look really good, and they have some cool themes on it. So, you know, but it's not really, it's not comparable in my opinion to the PlayStation. So yeah. Another thing that's good about the Xbox 360 is that it runs games in 1080p, whether it's upscaled or not. You know, you're still running in 1080p, so you're getting the maximum out of your high def TV, which again is great. Another thing is Xbox Live tends to have little or no lag. I mean, you know, it is a paid service, so you can kind of expect that, but I'm just throwing that out there. They also include, for the Xbox Live members, you know, like little things like, you know, training videos I put out each month and teach you how to do stuff, which is, you know, it's cool. It's a, you know, a mini touch to it, I guess. And another good thing about the Xbox is that it comes with component cables, and mine actually came with an HDMI cable. I'm not sure whether they still do that anymore. I think I read somewhere that they stopped doing that. But when I did get mine, it came with an HDMI component, so it comes with all the high def cables, which is great. I'm talking about the Elite now. So it runs pretty cool for the most part. I mean, it can get hot at times. You know, I'm not gonna say it doesn't, because it does sometimes get pretty damn hot. So yeah, that's that. And another good thing about the Xbox is it has the option to install the game to the hard drive. Like if you put in a game, let's say GTA 4, and you want to install it to your hard drive, you can, but you don't have to. Whereas the PS3, sometimes they kind of force you to, which is great. Why you would want to install it on your hard drive is basically the disc doesn't have to spin as much, you know, less strain on the system. It's much quieter because, you know, you don't hear the disc spinning, etc. I'm also a big GTA 4 fan, which I'm sure a lot of you are, and of the Xbox is getting the exclusive downloadable content of GTA 4, which is well, The Lost in the Dam is already out. That was pretty good. I liked it. And there's an upcoming series which is going to be the Ballad of Gay Tony, which can be another expansion pack, which is great. It also has 3 USB ports compared to the 2 USB ports on the PS3, which again is pretty good. I don't tend to really use the USB ports, so I'm not going to say that's excellent, because I don't use them that much. If you do use them, well, you know, you've got more on the Xbox. Like I said before, it does have a comfortable wireless controller, even with the chat pad on. The chat pad actually makes it more comfortable, in my opinion. Adds a bit more bulk to it. The chat pad on the Xbox 360, I think, is a lot better. I mean, it's below the controller. Again, you can look at the images on Google if you want. But the chat pad is below the controller, so it's if you're online, you know, you're not going to get killed trying to type to someone. You know what I mean? It also has a new price reduction, which is good, obviously. So moving on to the bad points of the Xbox 360, it does freeze sometimes, which of course, you know, is not good. It it can get pretty hot, and it makes noise if you're running off the disc. And so another bad point is you have to buy a wireless, and obviously, you know, Ethernet or wired comes free, but if you have wireless and you don't want to run a wire, well then, you know, you got to buy that, which kind of sucks. You also don't get free online play, so that's another bad point. You got to buy Xbox Live. I do think it's worth it. I mean, it never lags really. I have little or no lag on it. Another bad point is it has a slide-out disc tray rather than a slot loading drive. You know, that's not huge for me anyway. And another bad point is it doesn't have Blu-ray or well, it had HD DVD. They discontinued it, seeming as they don't make HD DVD movies anymore because Blu-ray won the format wars, etc. So it uses DVD, which is fine with me. I don't mind. I've already got a standalone Blu-ray player, and yeah. Actually, another good point that I forgot to put in with the Xbox is it has backwards compatibility, and there's at least a couple of hundred old Xbox games supported still. And another bad thing on the PS3, sorry, is that it doesn't play older PS2 games, so they've discontinued all backwards compatibility on all the newer models. And it also, the Slim is actually receiving some overheating problems. I don't own a Slim, so I can't say anything on that. And the final problem with the PS3 is that you can have many Blu-ray drive problems. Example, not reading discs, which I have had, which is very bad. So, as you can probably tell by the picture right there, the winner that I've chosen is the Xbox 360, generally because it is a better all-around system, in my opinion. You know, if you want to get both systems, that's great. You can get both. I don't mind them both, but if you just want to get one system, I would say go with the Xbox 360. You can't really go wrong. And you know, if you want to roast any of the consoles or leave any hate comments on the Xbox or the PS3, then you know, you can go ahead and do that. But I just thought I'd share some of my views on the situation, and yeah, if you like the video, subscribe.